and sexiness.
Awesome. Well, you're crushing it. All right. We're live. Welcome, everybody. We've got JK5 back for another stream. He has a Mattingly card out that is out right now. It is bananas. I'm literally going to watch Escape from New York tonight after the stream with Matt, I hope. If Matt's
nice. Good idea.
On the projector, man. I'm super hyped. So.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. So for anybody that hasn't.
Projector, like massive dimensions, like a full wall screen style.
Pretty big.
Sweet.
Yeah, bro. I'm excited, man. So yeah, I want to chat about the card for anyone that hasn't got it. The link is down below this video. Yeah, man, walk us through it. And I have some people, I think some people tuning in probably didn't catch last time. So I might ask some questions that are redundant last time, but people were asking on Twitter, for example, like how large you're working and some process questions that we may have covered last time, but we'll just.
No problem, man. Ask whatever questions you want. I'm here.
Sick, man. Okay, well, first, just talk us through the card, man, because it's amazing.
Well, I have the original here because Brandon from Topps hasn't physically come by and picked it up for the ultimate printing formatting.
Okay.
But they worked, I guess it just worked really well or well enough just from my photograph. But here is the card.
Oh my gosh.
Can you see it?
Yeah. It looks awesome. So it's on like a 8.5 by 11.
Oh, dude, it's as raw and lo-fi and non-archival as it gets.
I love it. Awesome. Oh, that is so sick. Wow.
Can you see it in the frame?
Yeah.
I can
hold it up a tiny bit.
Move around a little bit.
Yeah, actually, let's do that. Okay, so we got the Empire State Building, the eye patch. This, I mean, it's gorgeous, man. And what is it? Is it pen? Is it all ink?
It's pen and ink and a little bit of watercolor, a little bit of marker, and colored pencil.
I love it, man. I love making
like
so
many. It's 8.5 by 11.
Cool.
Yeah, man.
Man, totally gorgeous.
Thank you so much.
Had you, in terms of the Escape from New York kind of theme, is that something that you thought of beforehand, or did you start sketching it out and that kind of came together?
That's a good question, man. I couldn't delineate or separate the energy surrounding me in New York and in Brooklyn, the climate of the whole world, all the darkness, all the suffering, all the pain, all the unknowing, all the amorphousness surrounding us. And I was a huge Yankee fan, and I loved Don Mattingly, and I was 12 to 25 when he played. So that was 1982 to 1995.
Awesome.
And I was talking to my manager and trying to get some perspective, and I was kind of, I don't know, just a bit of I was at a bit of an impasse with what I was going to do with this card. I liked the nickname Hitman. I was going to go in a gangster mafia kind of old school New York Little Italy direction. But then one of the artists did that and did it really well, and I didn't really want to, I wanted to just simply shift directions. And I knew it had to be, I knew I had to go kind of deep on the sci-fi dystopian 80s tip, and Escape from New York was the winner, man. It just jumped to the top of the list, and yeah, that's what happened.
I love it.
I just attacked it,
Is it is that a movie that you love?
It's a movie that I love. That movie scared the shit out of me. I thought it was so dark and weird and violent, and the way it was depicted, the way New York was depicted in 1981. I mean, John Carpenter directed that movie. He's a horror film director, so it had this really just sinister, apocalyptic tone,
Right.
And I just started doing some research on my homework, like I do when I commit to an idea or a referential idea or something that I really want to associate or blend with the card itself.
Right.
And I gathered some really good reference material, and I love beautiful hand-painted posters from that time. And I chose one and then just really started sketching very lightly and just rendering the card and blending elements of that poster And then I thought it was really hilarious and uncanny that Kurt Russell, aka Snake Plissken, and Donnie Baseball looked a lot alike. And
Right.
it was just really fun kind of transmutating and blending them together and like subtly adjusting the expression. But I really didn't have to do much, man. I just had to make sure he rocked the mullet. I added the eye patch and, you know, certain costume elements. But it just felt right to entertain and to, you know, reference, again, the dystopian sci-fi cult classic kind of pop culture vibe and that whole idea,
right?
And at once really speak to the times. So
yeah, do you think like? And someone asked about this. Is it like a little bit of social commentary of like people got to get out and like it's with COVID, everyone's got to escape New York. I mean, a lot of people have left, but
yeah, man, absolutely. I mean, I know so many families that just bounced. It was a mass exodus. So many of my friends that have kids of various ages just got out, and it was really compounded and really layered because, you know, wherever you can go in the summer, there's a mass exodus anyway. Like people are going to Europe or the Hamptons or wherever they can go, you know, just to have a summer and experience a summer. And you know, that reality in New York combined with COVID left tumbleweeds, and you know it was like it was a shocking transformation and sort of changing of the guard and the humanscape and the demographic and the lawlessness, and Brooklyn got a little wild for a while, and you know the sticks of dynamite more powerful than like 10 M80s going off till 2-3 in the morning. So I think this card, I don't know, sort of an homage to and a reflection and meditation on what it was like to just stay in New York through the quarantine. I mean, my girl and I had a wonderful summer. We had an adventurous summer. We borrowed a car and we were in and out a lot. And my kids moved upstate. So, you know, we got out of Dodge, but we were here, man, and we still are. And it's really changed. So, yeah, I think ultimately the card ends up speaking to the time in New York when Mattingly played and all the shit that the city's been through. It's so wounded, man. I mean, it's coming back alive in interesting ways, and that's a whole other conversation. But yes, it is an absolute social commentary on anyone's ability to escape and really what that means, and to create a card that's entertaining and transportive in a playful way that has a serious undertone, hopefully is about escapism, or, you know, your ability to really leave in your imagination and transport yourself somehow, you know.
Totally. Yeah, it's crazy because like through all of this, like I know that New York has changed a lot, because when I do, I mean, and have for the last, you know, what is it, 4 or 5 months, like been out and about, like, but like I'm like in such like in my own head, in my own bubble, in my own studio.
Totally.
Which is crazy.
That's all you can control, man. That's all you can do.
Yeah. I feel like, yeah, I mean, it's great. I know that New York has changed, but like, I feel like what I do is the same, and it would be the same whatever was going on outside, I would be like here doing, you know, similar things.
Right. Yeah. You'd be just making dope work. You'd be in your studio making art and just doing what you do and being who you are. It's just the world outside of our microcosm and our intimate little internal world and the people we live with and right in our neighborhood. You know, it's shocking how much has changed and what is still unknown about this thing, and how it's affecting all of our lives, man. But yeah, totally. I mean, I'm really grateful that I just sit at my desk and make these drawings for a living. And I'm working on a lot of other cool shit related to it and beyond the Tops project. But
do you have a companion piece coming for that one?
I haven't thought of a companion piece for this one yet. I have been assigned what my next 2 companion pieces are. So I have some notes and sketches. I can't quite reveal it yet, but it's sort of out of order. You know, it's just like this strange order and rollout at this point, as far as what will be autographed, what's going to have cool editions and hand touch versions and, ancillary merchandise inspired by the card and stuff on the website. But there's tons of stuff in the works, man. How about you? How's everything going with your studio practice and the project?
Good, man. Yeah, actually, so I just did version 1 of Sandy Koufax, which is actually due tomorrow. I did that today.
It's due tomorrow. Wow.
Yeah, it's due tomorrow. So I'll try and hold it back so people can see it. But
yeah, that's a good start, dude. I saw your stop motion video.
Yeah, I'm playing with some dots. Kind of. I reached out. It's fun. Like for me, incorporating like ideas, feedback from people, from collectors and whatever. So I hadn't spent any time on Reddit, and I went on Reddit and just said, "Hey, I'm Blake from Tops 2020." Posted in like the baseball forums and was like, "Any ideas? I'll play it out." Because like I want to reach new audiences and I want fresh ideas. So I went somewhere completely new. And somebody said, "Oh, you should do like dots like Liechtenstein." And I was like,
"Liechtenstein's the first thing that comes to Lichten mind."
I love it, bro. Yeah, it's like it was really fun. So I think like
Rizzo prints or that sort of half-tone aesthetic.
Yeah. So it's been fun. I've actually got a second one on the easel that I'm mid painting that I'll get back to tonight or tomorrow. Cool. But I can like look at that one now and like see a few things that I want to adjust. But I think I really like the direction. I like the simplicity of it.
It's a great start.
Yeah, it's a good start. I think I'm excited about it.
You're probably you're probably like 4 or 5 layers deep, but it's beginning, right? It's starting to take shape.
It is taking shape. How about you, man? Do you have what are your next cards and have you started them?
I have some notes and sketches and sort of a lot of wordplay as a concept for Dwight Gooden. That's next.
Nice. That's great. Doc's such a cool dude.
He is, man.
Really cool.
I watched him. I really was into the Mets after, during the time he played. I was really into Doc Gooden. Me and my pops.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man. So I think I'm going to go and so far, I'm planning on rendering the card, and then there'll be kind of a whole other focused level of graphic text and rhyming and wordplay that speaks again to the moment, and especially the Black Lives Matter vital, pivotal dimension in our world right now. With his card, that's the plan. But that's all I can say, because that's as far as I've gotten with that one, man.
Yeah,
I know Tops is sort of like accelerating the
just a little more. I guess we need more
a little more flow going.
Yeah. It's crazy. So they had sent out that email to I believe everyone saying, okay, here's the schedule, here's the new kind of, guidelines or whatever it's called. And they had like a typo in there, and they had me like having like back-to-back releases, and one of them was meant for someone else. Anyways, I didn't know when my Koufax was due. I just messaged them yesterday. I was like, hey, when's my next card due? They're like, oh, Thursday. I'm like,
oh shit.
They're like,
2 days.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So it's come together quickly because it's had to. But I also like, I kind of work like that anyways. Like I work good under deadline. I like to work under like a deadline. And
I need structure.
Yeah.
It helps my productivity a lot.
Yeah, but I wasn't expecting to like spend all day today on that, but I'm very happy that I did.
But a 48-hour turnaround is intense, man. That's like crack the whip, fire under the ass. You need to do this now.
Yeah, and it was everything too. It was like
brother.
Print the stencils, cut them. Ended up doing, I think it was 5 layers. I don't know. It was definitely
5 layers so far. Wow.
Yeah, it's 5 layers on that one. So
a lot of work, man.
I think one of them now that I can like see it, I'm gonna go back and recut one stencil because I want to change a few things, and then I'm gonna do all 5 again. And
yeah, I can't wait to see it evolve, man. I can't wait to see it develop from here.
I appreciate it, man. And dude, next time or whenever it makes sense, I want you come here to the studio. I mean, it's
not something I space, but I knew
like,
it would take away from this experience if we were both on a mask, and then I'm going to visit my kids soon. I just have to be extra cautious and careful, man. I knew you would understand, but
of course,
live for the record, everybody, Blake is a very understanding individual, and we had a plan to really come together and just make some shit and see what would happen live in his studio. So thank you for the invitation, man, and we'll make it happen eventually.
Yeah, we'll rain check it. We'll make it happen.
We'll rain check it. Yes,
definitely, man.
So
Go
Are
ahead.
you a fan of Escape from New York? Did you get the reference
So
immediately? I mean, I know I
I
gave you a bit of
honestly,
a.
I looked at, I had to Google it.
Oh, okay.
And today it's funny because I watched the trailer and Andy was explaining the premise, and like you don't get the premise from the trailer. It's literally just like all the cast like coming
Right.
in, like this person, this person, this person, this person.
Yeah.
So it's funny, but like Andy explained it, and it sounds like an awesome '80s movie, basically, like just
It's
a
gonna
rad
be an
movie.
awesome '80s movie. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, yeah. So
Dark
I'm excited.
sci-fi.
I'm gonna watch it. Yeah, it's gonna be
Nice,
great.
man.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh man, what else? What else is new in your life since we chatted last?
Let's see. My girl got a new studio. She makes beautiful jewelry, so she's got a dope spot near the Navy Yard, and that's been really exciting. We've been really busy moving her in and getting that all sorted out.
Nice. And is that close to where you live?
It is, yeah. It's like a 10-minute bike ride or something, and I won't have the car much longer, but it's been really nice to have one. But it's like a 20-minute walk or so for her.
It's nice.
And it's a massive space with a lot of natural light, and she makes really beautiful things, and I'm really proud of her and really inspired by all that she does. And we collaborate on different levels, and we've got a bit of a collection and a line we're working on that's going to be coming together.
Nice.
And she's actually going to be making a few pieces of jewelry for my Jeter autograph and edition time. Whenever that is, there's going to be some jewelry and some really special product offered with those autographed and editioned signed cards. Yeah, man. That's awesome. So that's been happening, man. And I am working on a toy that basically turns this concept I've had since 2012 into a humanoid 12-inch articulated action figure. I'm working with a sculptor in Romania right now.
Really?
And he's a huge nerd, and we flow like a river, and he's such a dork, and he's so smart, and we get each other, and we have a lot of the same influences. And I can't say much more about it, but I haven't produced a three-dimensional object or a toy or a sculpture of anything like that since 2010. So I'm working on a bunch of new toy concepts, and this is the first one. So that's been really fun to sort of synthesize our sensibilities and go back and forth with this really brilliant three-dimensional artist in Romania and sort of find the articulate specific language that gets us on the same page when we have these calls every couple of weeks, you know? So this character symbolizes the space and time continuum, and he's been walking through all of time immemorial is the idea. And his anatomy is his craft. So he's got a pencil arm, which is a concept I've had since like 2001, maybe. It's one of my toys I did with Kid Robot, but this is going to be a really just a beautiful next level sophisticated kind of figure sculpture idea. So I'm stoked about that, man. That's awesome. Honestly, I've just been focused on these cards. I'm in the process of cataloging and archiving tons of original content in all different forms and bits and bobs and different mediums for new projects, maybe a new book. We're working towards some gallery shows.
Nice.
Who knows what will manifest? But there's a lot of plans, like a lot coming down the pipe, and then I'm so grateful that I have this small team that's helping me really preserve and archive just thousands of loose pages that could turn into who knows what, you know. So that's what I've been doing, man. Honestly, it's I make these cards. I'm trying to get back into making other kinds of work, but it's such a modality shift. It's a little challenging, you know. And like I said, my girl and I had a wonderful summer, and you can feel the season changing, which I think is affecting all of us. It's just that's what happens. Summer into fall is kind of a brutal awakening, especially with the light and all of that.
Yeah, days get shorter.
What's that?
Days getting shorter is a bummer.
Yeah, dude, you feel it, right? You really feel it. I don't know, man. I'm so grateful for, like, not to get too dire or too emotional, but things are wonderful personally, but the world is really fucked up right now, and that dichotomy is really bittersweet. It's really anxiety producing. I don't know how you're feeling about the macro that's affecting the micro, which is our own individual worlds, but I don't know, man. I'm pretty shook and pretty scared, and really hope things can change. I don't really want to go down a political path necessarily, but anytime.
No, I know, man.
Dude.
There's a lot riding on the next few months.
Oh my God.
It's a scary time.
Yes.
For sure.
And what I want to do with Doc Gooden, and then a whole new series that I've just started ideating around through words and language, which is a really big part of my work, that this project has, it's enabled a detour. It's coalesced a lot of different styles and sort of visual systems and things I love to do, right? Like since March, but I'm a freak for words and language, and I feel really responsible to make some work on canvas and to get wild with what I do with the written word and what can be said about this time through what I like to do with language, It's interesting. I think you have to be really careful because MLB has the final stage, and it's a wonderful project, and you have to comply to whatever degree, and
Right.
it's so I have to kind of just make sure that I'm like not rocking any boats, but I need to put all of those feelings and reactions creatively and spiritually as a human being living through this time in other places,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
I mean, and speaking of like tops and making them happy, do you want to talk about the in your card the things that they made you change, or not? It's totally up to you.
Well,
right, because
that's a great question, man, and it's either we broach that subject, which I know you and I are both really passionate about, and you're aware of, or we don't. I mean, what were your thoughts?
It's up to you, man. I think Topps only once has asked me to make a change on a card of mine, and it wasn't. It was the number on Mark McGwire's jersey.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I had switched it to the Team USA number, which was 41 instead of 25, which he was on the Athletics. So they had me change it like last minute, like the day before.
Right.
I got to make them happy. I understand that was like a kind of a trademark potential, gray area, or they didn't want to have any gray area, I guess, because they don't have the trademark for the 1985 USA image.
Oh, I see.
So
but
they
that's
made
just something personally that you really wanted to celebrate or allude to.
Yeah, well, I think that having him in the red, white, and blue jersey, he was number 41 on that team. So it just made sense if I was doing a jersey swap color-wise to also do the number swap.
Right.
In the 1985 card that they were afraid that I might get in trouble for copying, you can't even see his number. It's literally, it just says USA across the front of the jersey. So on one hand, I get it. I want to make them happy. Sure. I want to cover the bases. So it's fine. But, that I understand that's frustrating as an artist. And it was somewhat frustrating to me. And so I've been transparent about it and told people it is what it is. I get that they're trying to protect everyone. And ultimately, I want to make Topps happy above everyone else. Sometimes even above my own artistic vision, I guess, which is okay. So I guess long story short is that it's totally up to you if you want to talk about what they had you change in the card. If you don't, that's also totally fine. I don't think it's bad, that Topps does it. I just think that it's okay to acknowledge that it exists.
Yes. Well, big ups to Topps for doing everything they can as the company that curated and contracted this project for all 20 of us, because they really have been trying to protect 100% of our creative freedom.
Of course.
They answer to Major League Baseball, which is a very conservative, risk-averse corporation. And I honestly will just say they have their reasons for things that they're sensitive about being depicted in the cards.
Yep.
I'd rather not say what I had to change, just because it was really infuriating and really emotional for me, and I was really quite shocked. And I think the reasons why they flagged something very, very specific, whose likeness belongs to the hearts and minds of every human being on the earth.
Yeah.
That's such a vital historical piece of New York City. If it's political in any way, I think that's disturbing. And
I agree.
And that's all I'll really say, man. I mean, it was an exercise in being surgical and doing a cover up. And I've been tattooing for 25 years, and I went in with just a black Sharpie. And
I mean, I think
change is necessary, man. And it was,
and I think, like,
it
honestly,
was such an exercise in just being.
And I know this must be like infuriating for other people to hear us talking about something that we both know what it is and they don't. But like,
sorry,
you did a very good job with the transition. And
thank you, man.
And it's cool because I know what started there. I still see it anyways. And I think that other people probably do in that anyway. Like, I think it's just a little bit more camouflaged.
Right.
It's there, man. And
it is there.
And it's there. Yeah. I mean, like, I can't unsee it. So,
which is an interesting metaphor for what was once there in such a glowing, symbolic, and majestic, beautiful, really unique way. It was so iconic to New York that isn't, that now has, it's been transformed. Like everything eventually transforms. And between you and me and the powers that be, it's just a larger conversation. But it was a really important experience to have. And I've worked for corporations for 20, 30 years in different capacities, and you're answering to people that often really are not creative. They're not artists. They're not left-leaning necessarily.
Yep.
They're just a different kind of human being. And, I'm cool with not rocking the boat and embracing the exercise of making changes necessary. I've gotten away with a lot of shit because I have whole systems that rely on shifting existing logos and typefaces and iconography and imagery and fucking with existing identities and things that I've had to really think beyond and convolute and evade and really, I don't know, just come up with something even more encrypted or subtle or subliminal or interesting. And aspects of it have been challenging because, as a spastic artist, I look at these cards and I'm just kind of exploding with immediate associations and things I want to reference. Like I want to spell Mets on Doc Gooden's card in 20 different ways. I want to straight up write Fets, but I can't do that. You know what I mean? That said, I am really gonna share my love of wordplay and language. I know I have to various degrees in all the cards because it's just a part of what I do. It's a facet of my work, but it's cool having to work with parameters because you're really challenged and you have to dig even deeper, and find new ways to be as interesting or as creative or as thoughtful and bring it,
Totally. All right, we're gonna get some fan questions.
Oh, good.
Matt, will you tap in for a second? Because I've drank way too many spicy soda. I gotta run to the bathroom.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna have
what are you drinking?
Well, I call it spicy soda. It's just can't like sparkling water.
Nice.
We did dry September and sugar-free September. And
Good for you, man.
We started like
Awesome.
halfway through August. So it's actually been like almost a month now for us. Yeah.
Awesome.
So it's been great. So, but we go through like 24 of these a day between the team. about a few cases a day. And anyways, I gotta pee.
I know what to bring next time I come.
Yeah, bro, definitely. Okay, so I think this one was good about the Boba Fett and Cyclops stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, I'll be back in a second.
Sweet.
And then I will grab another spicy stuff.
Awesome. I've been enjoying this. I'm just on the couch over there, so I've been listening to you
What's
guys.
up, man? How are you? Nice to see you again.
Good to see you, my friend. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good,
Awesome.
man. I'm enjoying this.
Glad. The Mattingly card is awesome. Absolutely fantastic. So
Thank you so much.
of course.
Glad you're digging it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably Blake, I'm sorry. I think it's my favorite Mattingly so far. So I love it.
That's a bold statement, my friend.
Yeah,
Thank you
and
very much.
I mean, it's one of my favorite cards of yours so far. All of your cards are super dope, so it's hard to pick a favorite. I need to.
Thank
I
you.
don't know, but
Those
all right.
words mean a lot. I appreciate it. Thank you.
of course. Let's ask a couple questions. Oh, we got F. Dot on here. What's up, Eric?
What up, F. Dot Fitzgerald? I call him F. Dot Fitzgerald.
I love it. F. Dot Fitzgerald. So we got a good question from Scotty Arms. What's up, Scotty? Question for JK5. Talk to us about the Boba Fett / Cyclops references in your cards.
Very simply, I'm a huge Star Wars nerd, and I love the X-Men and have since grammar school. So I try and consistently, in interesting, creative, varied, ever-evolving ways integrate content is really nostalgic and really important to me, and often has been this woven thread since my childhood. And now I'm 50, so just a big nerd. But yeah, Boba Fett and Cyclops were, as a fan of masks and helmets and visages and science fiction, and Boba Fett's helmet being, in my opinion, the greatest design of a face, helmet, mask, or visage in any film ever. It's based on a really classic Knight's T shape helmet. I've done a million things with it, and I'll do a million more. So there you go. There's your answer. And Cyclops, I mean, that's a really dope power to have.
Yeah.
And that just line slice where energy or lasers or fire or light as a weapon or a metaphorical weapon or any sort of emanating thing can come out of. It was just a no-brainer to create this, to celebrate superheroes and comics and the mythological hero's journey, which is a literary and a filmic genre that is a big part of who I am and the work that I do and what I really love. So yeah, man, wherever there's eyes and wherever I can sneak in a little T, there'll be Boba Fett or Cyclops for thee.
Absolutely. Awesome. Do you remember the first time you saw Star Wars? Like the first Star Wars movie?
I was 7 in 77, and I saw it in the theater in White Plains, New York, man. May 25th.
Wow.
2nd grade.
Oh,
dude, in White Plains, New York?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's where I'm from.
That's where you're from.
Impressed that you know the date, how old you were, where you were. Like,
It was either the 19th or the 25th. I mean, I saw it opening day with my friends, and we saw it 15 more times that summer.
Yeah.
wow.
My parents were like, "Are you really gonna go again?"
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is.
Wow.
That is.
I can't remember any movie that I've seen that I remember the date that I saw it.
I'm kind of a nerd for dates, and
Okay.
I'm kind of a sentimentalist, so dates are important to me. But that date, I was 7, 2nd grade. It came out May 25th. It debuted all over Man's Chinese Theater and all theaters around the country, and that's when I saw it.
How did that change your life?
I saw Star Wars for the first time the same summer my parents told me I was adopted.
Oh, wow.
So to give you the succinct version, because it's a very, very long story, and I can tell it in a million different ways, But to give you the meat and potatoes, as my dad likes to say, it was more allegorical and symbolic to my personal journey than I had any idea anything could be. And I was at an age where I would very shortly grow into the understanding of the parallel between Luke taking his first step into a larger world and my own weird, complex life as an adopted kid in a suburb. And, if anybody's interested in the actual story, there's the letter from my birth mother that I received 23 years, 5 months, 19 days later, my senior year at RISD in 93, in my first book, published in 99. And then in my Rizzoli book, published in 2014, my birth mother wrote the intro, and it's just poignant and moving and sort of tells the story in a really beautiful and descriptive way, and sort of functions as an intro to the book. So Star Wars was that tale and became that whole parallel universe, and just told me that the code of the Jedi was that of an artist, and I was fucking Luke.
Yeah.
and that's it,
Yeah.
Yeah. And that set me on a real path to honestly, I mean, I've been drawing since I could hold a crayon, and when Star Wars came out, we were all drawing at a feverish pace, man. It was like I was drawing the Yankees and BMX and skateboarding a little bit and Kiss and Star Wars and Jesus, because that scary motherfucker was on the cover of TV Guide in 1980 when I was 10, So yeah, there's a lot of woven threads from my childhood in the work, and certainly that sort of weaves the fabric of my being together. And Star Wars is really nuclear, really central.
Speaking of your mom, if I remember correctly from last time we talked, you said that she was an artist or artistically inclined as well?
My birth father, who I found when I was 39, was a draftsman and actually could draw and loved it, but never really focused or was disciplined enough and focused enough. And he kind of dropped it when he dropped out of UCLA in 1969 and moved to New York. But my birth mother is...
My dad was at UCLA in 1969.
What's that?
My dad was also at UCLA just 1969.
Oh, wow.
Right, Dad? You confirm that?
I believe
Amazing.
I believe that's true.
What was he doing at that time, and what is he now?
So he actually was doing photography for the basketball team at UCLA, and then he did freelance photography, and he got like some really cool opportunities. He shot Aretha Franklin, awesome. James Brown, like this really cool James Brown and Louis Bellson band.
Sick.
They were recording a whole album, and he was in there, like, taking dope photos, basically. Yeah. Like, I mean, it's amazing.
That's phenomenal, man. That's your pops.
Yes.
Right place, right time in California. Love.
Yeah, and they were both there at the same time. That's crazy, man.
Cross paths.
That's amazing. Let's pick up that conversation offline or off screen or off show.
I love it.
Me too, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was gonna say, sorry, just to conclude very briefly, my birth mother, who's been a really vital, wonderful part of my life and a real gift to my life since I was 23, my senior year of art school, we've been best friends and really, deeply, deeply connected. We were reunited. She was on 6th Avenue between Bleecker and Houston, where she'd been through the sort of late 70s and 80s. And she has a private social work practice in Maine and has been there for about 20 years. She's a trauma survivor specialist.
Oh, wow.
And my final statement about her, she's a really eloquent writer and really introduced me to a lot of philosophy, a lot of female poets and authors, and a lot of amazing writers and writing and books. And that's sort of really anchored that facet of my own work at that time, and it's, you know, I think it just became a really clear passion, where ever since I was 7 and drawing Jesus kissing Star Wars, like I said, I was rendering Ace Frehley and practicing getting his signature right at the same time, right? And all the graphics and all the typography and logos and album covers, it was always this word image tango, this text visual sort of balance and sort of wholeness that was just really a part of the fabric of everything surrounding me in the 70s, and just what I was really fucking into, man. Like letter forms and drawing things to where you could recognize them, and then drawing from my head and from my imagination is sort of a holistic way I've been kind of practicing and cultivating my sensibilities for 40 years, a long time.
Wow. I don't know if you heard this before, but when you said you were 50, Blake went, "Holy shit, I thought he was 30."
What?
Swear to God, I swear he said that. He actually said
so
that.
young, man.
Too kind, man. Wow.
Young, like
I'm not making that up. He did say that.
yeah.
That's ridiculous.
So just wanted
No,
to throw that out there.
I would have never guessed 50.
50, man.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah, I just want to say before I let Blake take back over.
Yeah. And
you
any
have an
other
open.
questions or whatever?
I mean, I have lots of questions for you. I
Well,
feel like
if
I
there's any
could.
questions
I
that
could
you
talk
have,
to you for 3-4 hours like this.
Yeah. Nice.
So
Me too.
absolutely. I was, last week with Blake, I was saying that we should call you and talk to you, and it was like 3 a.m. in the morning. And I was like,
No.
we gotta call. And Blake's like, it's 3 a.m. Like we can't just.
Do you guys just like do this till the wee hours of the morning sometimes?
Often?
Yeah.
Yes.
Quite a
Wow.
bit.
Yeah.
Wow.
And like it'll be the middle of the night, and we'll forget that we're like,
It's like
you know,
1:30,
like
2
normal
a.m.
business hours
Yeah,
for us. We're
can't-
like, oh yeah,
right. Do you guys live nearby the studio?
fairly
Not
close.
too far. Yeah, a couple miles away. So
That's
pretty
cool.
pretty lucky.
That's
I can
convenient.
Yeah, I'm super lucky.
Nice, man.
Yeah,
Blake, you got to get your pops on. You need a conversation with your dad live.
know.
that's a great call.
I do.
Artist
As well, and you guys are on good terms, and you
Friday.
can make it happen. I mean, I for one
Great call.
think that would be a really special show.
Yeah.
No, I think that's a great idea.
If you have Blake had his 90 Days to MoMA series, and there's a great episode with him and his dad, which is one of my favorite of the series. We can maybe drop the link in the chat, where you're doing a piece based on one of his James Brown photos, and it's really awesome.
Do you have prints of the photographs he took at that time, and did he continue being a photographer?
So he has some prints. He has all the negatives, and we have like this, like a digitizer. It's digitally scans negatives and then pulls them in, and then we can like have a digital photo.
Wow, cool.
Which is dope. All of those photos, I wish I had them on my computer here, but they're actually on a hard drive in California. So I just asked him recently. I'm like, oh my God, like, I want those photos. So he's trying to find them. I'm gonna have to find them when I go back to on a hard drive. But
Those
yeah,
are good to find.
he doesn't really do that much photography. Although he did, I got into photography for a little bit, and I used to use one of his old cameras.
Awesome.
Which that was a Nikon. Yeah, I used it in high school photography. Actually, I mean, my parents are so awesome. In high school, for 1 year for my birthday, I got a photo enlarger, and then we built a darkroom like in a barn at my parents' house, and that was like my birthday present that year. So, I mean, it's insane, like how encouraging,
Amazing.
and supportive they've been on like so much art stuff.
And really creative themselves.
Very creative themselves. Yes.
So it's in your blood.
Nico Matt, my dad says.
Oh, okay. So I just want to finish this thought really quickly.
Sure.
So you are always evergreen invitation. If you ever would love to come on the podcast as a guest, we would love to have you on.
I'd love to, man. For
Just
sure.
talk whatever you want.
That's a very kind invitation. Thank you.
Always.
I'm
Of course.
always down.
You.
Yeah.
And I have one question, because you were talking about books just before, and I love to read. And I was just wondering, what's one book that you've read and has changed your life?
I like that.
That changed my life.
Could be for the worse, but I was thinking for the better.
I read a Ta-Nehisi Coates book recently that
Which
blew
one?
me away.
Was it
Letters to My Son.
Oh yeah, amazing.
I think everyone in the world should read it, especially in America.
Totally agree. Brilliant.
Um,
I'm gonna put that on my Audible list right now.
Ta-Nehisi Coates. It predates The Water Dancer. It's more like it's in essay form.
Yeah.
And it's just incredibly moving and heart-wrenching, beautifully written piece that is all about an African-American father talking to his son about the world he's entering within his Black body. And it's
awesome.
It's shocking and so moving and so fucking important.
Yeah. Nice.
But I liked a lot of C.S. Lewis. I love Dune. I confess I haven't read as many books as you'd probably like to think, but I do read. I do read a lot. I've been really on a poetry trip for the last maybe 20 years. So I read and write a lot of that in that form, and in my own form as it blends in with my visual stuff. So yeah, man, Ta-Nehisi Coates, check that shit out.
I love it.
And any Toni Morrison right now is really important too.
Right on. I had a question that popped up from 1977 Cloth. Luke, who actually commissioned a piece from me, he was the one that got the Hank Aaron piece that I did some mixed media stuff. Anyways, he asks if you do commission pieces.
I do.
Awesome.
I do indeed. You can just email me, man. JK5NYC@gmail. And thank you so much for the interest.
Yes. Yeah. And I mean, like I said, like he's awesome dude, already commissioned a piece by me. So he's serious, which is awesome. I know a lot of people will just ask sometimes. Oh,
let's start the dialogue.
He makes moves.
See how it goes.
I'm putting that JK5NYC@gmail.com in my memory bank because earlier I didn't have your email address to send you a link, but I texted you.
I'm glad it worked. Yeah, anybody that wants to hit me up and start a conversation of any kind, you can DM me. My Instagram is JK5NYC, and my email, very similarly, is JK5NYC@gmail.com.
I love it. I love the consistency.
Yeah, man, I've had that email for a long time.
Yeah.
It's like
how, and I don't remember, I can't remember if we talked about this last time, but how did you come up with the name?
Oh, that question. Well, peoples, it started with Joseph and Karen, Joey and Karen.
Okay.
JK, when I was a kid. My sister's a few years younger. She was not adopted. We're very close.
Okay.
She's a suburban housewife and mother.
Awesome.
And wonderful and really funny, and I love her. So JK was always in my consciousness. And then you realize on a push-button phone, JK5 is the middle 5. It's 555.
Ah.
And then
I don't think we talked about this last time. This is awesome.
Well, here's my answer. Yeah. I like things that have layers and strata and sort of
get that from your
facets of meaning. And that's kind of like that's my alias, because I can do a million things and adapt endlessly to the world with those 2 letters and a number, the rhythm of 3, the triangle, the triad, the trilogy, all of that, right? Like, I don't know, you choose a good tag because you like the letter forms and you think you can fuck with it. And for me, that I'm getting ahead of myself.
No, you're right on bat. You're right on track with yourself.
Cool. Stay on target. Stay on target. That was Wedge Antilles for all you Star Wars nerds out there. Get set up for your attack run. JK was my sister and I. And then a little known character was invented called the Jedi Knight. And that was JK. And that really stuck with me. And when I was at RISD in the early 90s, I got really into tattooing, and that became my craft and my passion and my vocation. And my homies in Philly were like, "You were the Jedi Knight of drawing." And that really fucking stuck. And Luke was Red 5. Red 5
Dude,
standing behind.
so many layers, like
Yes.
all layers.
Well,
all,
the 5, Blake.
yes.
The 5 was Jackson 5, Gimme 5, Nickel Bag, DAP, Acknowledgement, Respect, 3, the magic number, plus 2, the Gemini that I am. The 5th dimension is the absolute or spiritual dimension, and all sort of like cultural, larger, religions and numerology. And yeah, so JK5 became what would be on the side of, like if it's the License to Ill cover, it's like my pencil crashed into the side of a building or something, or it's my X-Wing fighter, and that's my squadron number. That's my tag, alias, and whatever you want it to be. That's what it is. And the 5 Buddhist elements and the 5 senses, which this bracelet, there we go, actually symbolizes, and man's simplest marks, dots and lines, which are really vital and really important to me, and where all things that are drawn come from. Like Paul Klee said, you take a line for a walk, and that's drawing. Yeah, man. JK5.
Bro, I love it.
Oh, and then whatever a J or a K can, however you can rhyme, or, you have like, what's the grammatical term? I'm spacing right now, man. I'm a little tired, but basically one creative system I have is you basically swap out the first letter and then go through the alphabet, and anything that's potentially illustratable or conducive to some sort of visual or some sort of pun, you get that shit down, and then you elaborate on that, and then you harness that, and you personalize that, and then you interact with that, and you sort of make it your own, or you engage in a discourse with that idea. And because I started doing that with everything, started with JK5, I was like, I just chose these 2 letters in this number, but language has infinite, permutations and interchangeable variables and possibilities when you sort of dissolve things and deconstruct things, right? And then you can kind of dissolve and rewrite everything, like Aldous Huxley, The Doors of Perception, right? Everything's infinite when you cleanse, when you embrace the infinite nature of reality.
Deep, bro. I love it.
Tangents.
Somebody had a great comment saying, "I feel like a caveman listening." You're deep, man. I love it. I love it. I mean, that sounds like a bunch of very good reasons.
Yeah, man. I think I don't know. And I was raised with graffiti, and I grew up 20 minutes north of the Bronx, and that book Subway Art by Henry Chalfant and Martha Cooper changed my life overnight. I got that book for Christmas, and I was like, what's my alias? What's my tag? I need a nickname.
Yeah.
And as an adoptee, as an adopted kid, I was adopted when I was 5 days old, and I didn't get the letter from my birth mother until I was 23, 5 months, 19 days later. I had such harmonious, deep affection for and camaraderie with aliens, black sheep, objectivity, darkness, what's so amorphous when it comes to your own biological identity. I had no idea. So I think, that alias was about designing and defining myself in a more spiritual and creative way as an artist. I was raised in a acculturated, super clannish, Italian inhibited suburban in the 70s. And that's a big part of who I am too, right? That's a facet, but got a lot more interesting, and things really opened up when I found my birth mother and realized I had had all this too, you know, that was really like in the woods or the forest or the ocean of my own internal material to really pull from in this autobiographical way, you know. So JK5 just really stuck, and
I love it.
Yeah, there you
Love
go.
it. And I mean, I love it even more now knowing all the reasons why it makes sense. You know,
I'm an open book. My and it's still being written. We're on, you know, page 69 million or something. I don't know. It's I don't know. I like
choose your own adventure, bro.
Crazy journey, man. You know.
Yeah. Eric, those back pages had a question. He asks if you were a Basquiat fan.
Huge Basquiat fan. In fact, my 8-year-old son is really crazy about Basquiat now and traces and draws a lot of his stuff. And I'm giving him my Basquiat books now. Yeah, Basquiat's a profound artist that had incredibly sad, short-lived existence. But
man,
one of the most important.
Burned bright and hot, man.
What's that?
Burned bright and hot.
The hottest.
Yeah.
The hottest.
So
Visual,
good.
jazz, punk, hip hop before it was even hip hop. Encyclopedic brain, insane stream of consciousness, reactive, inherent, creative, compositional vision. You know, very sensitive, very fragile, and at the same time, the power of the sun. You can't fuck with Basquiat, man. Jean-Michel Basquiat.
Yeah, man, he's the GOAT. I got that. I think I've showed you.
I recognized that the first time we got on together. I'm like, yo, is that the Basquiat crown? The Radiant Child?
Yes, exactly. I love the Radiant Child. The Radiant Child is a great book.
Yes, I love Basquiat, and you know, we're not the best of friends, but I would consider them homies and contemporaries, and I'm really moved and inspired by them. And we've been in shows together, and we've been on different teams together, and they're big influences. But Eric Hayes and Futura 2000 are friends of mine, and they're incredible artists that were rolling and creating with Jean-Michel at that time. And you know, those guys are still with us. So Basquiat, as an individual and a spirit, like you said, that burned so brightly for such a short time is one thing, but what he was to New York and what New York was when he was making his work, and just from Samo to the galleries to his community to what was happening musically and everything downtown, that wasn't that long ago, man. It's still a profound piece of New York's history that, talk about burning brightly, is more alive in the younger generations. You know, it's I don't know. It's an interesting, bigger conversation, because that's just a generation ago, you know. And he was 27, right? 27, I think, when he passed. But yeah. Jean-Michel Basquiat. I have a lot to say. Out getting ribs, JM.
Dude, so it's crazy to think about, but I would bet that he saw Escape from New York. Probably when it came out.
Yo, he has a movie called Downtown 81. He was rolling around the city, and I don't know exactly what he was doing in 81, but he was certainly still alive and being vital. And yeah,
dude, I want to watch that.
Movie came out in 1981. What's that?
I don't think I've seen Downtown 81.
Oh, dude. And if whoever asked about or asked if I was a Basquiat fan,
yep, Eric,
check out Downtown 81. It's an experimental film that he and his friends made,
dude,
at the time.
Right.
And it's super lo-fi and raw, and his band Gray is featured, and it's a really important little piece. Got to check it out. Awesome. I mean, the Julian Schnabel feature film I really like, because I love Basquiat, and I thought
Yep.
Soundtrack was amazing, and I really loved David Bowie as Warhol, and I like what Julian Schnabel did with that film. You know, I think the film's problematic in some ways, but I loved it so much when I saw it originally, and then I saw Downtown in '81. I don't know, maybe shortly after that, and that's the real shit. That's New York, 1981, and it's dope. Check it.
I love it. This is a nice comment from Matthew Burke. He says he feels like he's going to fall asleep happier tonight after hearing the interview.
Oh, Matthew Burke, that's so kind, man.
That's great.
I just want to say to everybody, I really want to just extend my love and as good energy as I possibly can through this frequency. Freak when SEE, freak MCs. Sleeping's really hard right now, man. It's a really fucked up world, and anxiety is filling us all. And I wish everybody as much peace and good vibes and calm and centeredness as possible during this time. And not to go off on this tangent, but it's been really hard sleeping lately. And these fucking bombs that are going off in Brooklyn at 3 a.m. right when you think you're entering some sort of deep rapid eye movement stage. Boom! What the fuck? And it's 3:30.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, man?
I know exactly what you're saying.
Last night it felt like half a stick of dynamite a block away.
Wow.
So powerful.
Yeah.
And lots of reasons for that sort of like, it's like a roar in the wild or something, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I had a tough time sleeping last night. I intended to go to bed early. I went back to the apartment early and got in bed at like 12:30, which to me is pretty early. And I was like, next thing I know, I'm like, it's 3:30 in the morning. And I was like, I still haven't fallen asleep. So it's, but fortunately, like, I mean,
there's a lot of reasons for the anxiety right now, man. It's permeating all of us in so many ways.
I agree, man. But I'm very fortunate in that I don't schedule anything in the mornings because I'm staying up late. So I don't set an alarm clock ever.
Nice.
And, you know, if there's like a random thing where I have like a meeting or a call or something in the morning, sure. But like in general, like I can't really remember the last time I set an alarm because I just sleep however long my body needs. And usually that's 7 hours. So like, despite the fact that I went to bed at 3, like I sleep pretty well. And like I woke up at 10:30 and started my day. Yeah. But I also like got in bed at 12:30 thinking, okay, I'm going to fall asleep by 1, you know, I'll be up at 8, you know, but can't win them all.
Yeah, no, hey man, I'm envious because it sounds like you have a pretty regulated, pretty consistent body clock.
I do.
And it's a little more erratic for me. And lately it's just harder to stay asleep. Like if a bomb explodes at 3 a.m, mentally I'm wide awake for an hour, and then it's, you know, can be really challenging to go back to sleep. But conversely, thankfully, we usually go to sleep between 12 and 1, and we end up sleeping till not between 9:30 and even 11. You know, we get a lot of sleep, and I'm totally autonomous. I create my own schedule, my own structure. I have my studio at home, which I love, and all I have to do is create and eat and have a good time and stay in touch with my kids and let my friends know how much I love them and try and keep as much good energy moving through as possible. Yeah. It's like, I don't want to defend why or how I'm so preoccupied, but there's incredibly sharp contrast between the larger world and what's really happening in my life and in my career. And I'm so grateful to MLB and to Topps and to all the artists and to my management team and my amazing girl and my family, because I had a really deep conversation with a friend the other day, a fellow father. My kids are 11 and 8, right? And it was just it was just about the level of encompassing unknowing in the world is unprecedented. And all you can do is be gentle with the soft animal of your own body, like Mary Oliver, my favorite poet, says. Just as a human being, being really compassionate with yourself right now is really important. Because it's easy to, gravitate towards being a little destructive and wilding out a little too much and saying fuck it and whatever you're eating, drinking, drugging, whatever it is. It's like everyone has their vice. It's the craziest time, but like all you can do is control, again, that compassion with your own self, your family, your beloveds, whatever those concentric circles are to you, because everything else is going through the most profound and pivotal, seismic, grand, philosophical, cosmological change, I feel like, ever in human history. I know it sounds nerdy and extreme, but that shit is real as fuck right now. And I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is happening? It's it's just, I don't know. How can we all not bleed for and feel in the deepest places of our human hearts what's happening to a whole population right now, and what that means to all these larger forces that have been put in place for so long, right? Hard for me not to. I feel like I'm like just like my default mode is the larger picture right now, because it feels like we're living in a sci-fi dystopian reality.
Dude, it's Black Mirror. It's crazy.
Yes.
Have you seen Black Mirror, by the way? Because
I got, I thought it was really good. I just fell off really quickly. I just couldn't.
It's okay. I mean, they're all standalone. So like, you can watch one, enjoy it. You can watch another, hate it. You can watch another, feel mediocre.
Right.
I think there's some really good ones, but like, I mean, there's so much crazy shit that's going on that I'm like, this is like an episode of Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Which is like, it doesn't feel real, right. And it's also crazy, like, to everything that's happening now. And then also like career-wise, it's like the best year ever in terms of like sharing my art with the world. So it's just like, it's such a weird
same here, man,
paradox of like so much craziness, and then like all this amazing stuff is happening that like, and I've said this before on stream, like there's times when I feel guilty that like my business is doing better than it's ever done, and there's other businesses that are shutting their doors after a century in business.
Very well said. And that dichotomy, that contrast, is really bittersweet and really conflicting. And all we can do is be grateful and keep things in perspective, and know that so many have it so much worse on so many possible levels, and just keep cultivating all this momentum and all this good energy and all this work that we're doing right now. Because again, the unknowing is bigger and more amorphous and fucking challenging and scary than it's ever been. And what a trip.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. But I'm grateful for the rocket ship that we're sharing right now.
Yes.
We'll see where it takes us. And
yeah, man, it's such a pleasure just to chop it up.
Yeah, me too. I love it too, man. I could listen to you talk for hours, just about anything apparently.
We have a good flow, man. I like talking about anything.
Yeah, it's great.
Anything's a good thing to talk about.
Yeah, I'm just not seeing your shirt now that you.
If there's any more questions.
Well, we had a outpouring of people all saying that they're happy for like stuff like this and the project, that giving them like a little bit of an escape.
Cool.
Eric had mentioned like if it wasn't for Project 2020, he wouldn't be here now, like meeting everyone that's in the chat. Like we've got all these people that come back every day, every night. It's just so cool so that's fun.
Awesome.
I enjoy that. I don't see a lot of questions, but I saw that
Cool.
I got teased on the top of your shirt. I want to see what's on. Is this a mouse?
It is this brand Awake. It's
Okay.
my boy Angelo Bach. Big shout out to him. He has this really beautiful, really amazing brand called Awake New York. And this is my friend Pete Raitt, who designed for Supreme for a long time. And he just did this Year of the Rat graphic. And they're old homies of mine. And shout out to Awake New York and Pete and Angelo.
Dope. I
That's
love it.
shirt.
Yeah, it's a very cool shirt. So it looks like, you're sitting is that the desk where you do all of your magic?
This is the desk.
Can we see it? Or
Sure,
is
man.
there
I plugged my phone back in because
Oh.
the battery's
Yeah.
getting low. But guess what? I have the charger armed. Here.
Oh, great.
Let me show you my desk.
I love it.
Can you see?
Okay, we see a bookshelf now. Bookshelf.
Is that right? Is that good?
Now we're seeing it. I love it. And I like that on the left. It looks like kind of an inspiration wall.
Yeah. This is the rest of it. And this is where I have Homosoap screwed into the brick.
Okay. So you can
and
pin
that's where
things
I
up.
tack my canvases or my large pieces of paper
Ooh, I like that.
when I'm doing larger work. And right now,
Ken Griffey.
yep.
Ooh. What is that Jackie Chan magic? That is cool.
Oh, I can't tell you, but I'm glad you're seeing it.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
We'll talk more. Check it
Great.
out.
Great.
You see what's going
Dude.
on?
That is sick. I see a cross of pencils.
Nope.
Or no,
those are
nunchucks.
nunchucks, my friend.
Nunchucks, sorry.
The evil Nazi in Raiders of the Lost Ark used that similar thing as a coat hanger, but our boy
Is that a
Lee
take
used it as a weapon. Can you see, man? This is fun. This is a funny thing I drew right when the quarantine started.
Wow, that's Okay.
Can you see it?
Yes, sure
Toys
can.
R Us went bankrupt. That's really sad. And then
That is sad.
just a little wordplay
Yeah,
for the kids out there.
that's awesome.
Here's
Dude, I love this. Wow. That is cool.
it's a Muerte skull. My girl's brand is called Nature.
Okay.
And
Wow.
it's just a pen and ink drawing that I made into some silk screens. I made a bunch of prints out of them. And it's all Muerte. It's all sort of, in my opinion, poetic iconography around death and
Crazy.
our immortality.
Awesome.
Our mortality. Did I say immortality?
I don't know. I heard mortality, but I'm not sure.
Well, this arrogant human somehow slipped and said immortality. But that's what, to me, leaving behind as much work as possible enables you to do, because life is really short and fragile. Okay, wait. Let's show you. Here's a little Mattingly action.
Nice. Dude, that's so cool.
There's a little pencil at the top of his Boba Fett
Nice.
radar thing.
Yeah. Just amazing detail.
Thank you, homie.
I don't remember. I think you said a collector in LA has the originals, right? Or will?
Yes, we send him the originals as I do them.
That's amazing. That guy's going to have a hell of a collection.
He is, man. And you know what? I was super grateful. Here, I'm going to set this back up. I got this cool little stand thing. Here's the back of my shirt.
Okay.
Which is a good one, too. Little shout out. Can you see it?
I can. Awake, Dover Street Market. Nice.
Oh, dude, I know what I have to show you. See if the back of that guy's still on the line.
He is. I'm certain he is. Wow, that's cool. Oh, I love that. Is that recent?
I did this a few months ago for a charity auction, and the gentleman that I did it for is just a cool New Yorker, and he needs to pick it up, and it's just my drawing of Basquiat.
Wow.
Um,
It's gorgeous. I do a Basquiat portrait every year, pretty much.
what's that?
I try to paint Basquiat every year.
Do you? Awesome.
I do.
I would love to see those.
I will. I'm happy to share them with you. They are all over at different collectors' houses, but they're
Nice.
some of my favorite works. I'll
awesome.
send you pictures. Yeah, I can't remember. I think I did him. I don't think I have painted him in 2020. I'd have to look. When I did the boxing one, I did a Warhol and a Basquiat, and I don't remember if that was the beginning of 2019 or the beginning of 2020. Because
that classic poster where they had that show together, Gagosian.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look. And if it wasn't this year, I'm due to paint them.
I'm really glad you sold them and they found good homes. I want to see those, man.
Yeah, they're awesome. One of them is at my parents' house. I gifted to my mom.
Your first collectors.
Some of my early collectors. That's
Yeah.
right. They
Yeah.
got a nice collection. Yeah, my dad's saying Rebecca's got one. Yeah, she's got a really cool one. Actually, I believe that one was my first one. And that was in 2016. And then 2017, I used the same stencil, but I did this mixed media piece that was really cool that like I let age outside for like a year, and I would like just mess with it a little bit. It was starting to like peel up and flake because it was all these like pages from Kama Sutra actually.
Cool.
And it like all peeled up, and I would come and kind of rub some of it off, and it just got this crazy texture. That was 2017. And then yeah, I don't know. It's been fun.
Awesome, man. I want to see those.
I'll definitely show them to you. They're some of my favorite works. Let's see. Do we have any other questions? What else we got? Is that a nod to Thurman Munson on Mattingly's shins? Eric asks.
Good question, because I love Thurman Munson as a catcher in the late 70s Yankees, but it is not a conscious reference to Thurman Munson. It is an element of those industrial steampunk apocalyptic surviving black leather boots that our character Snake Plissken in Escape from New York wore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So those are not catcher shin guards, but that's a cool observation, my friend. They kind of look like that.
Mm-hmm.
And for all those invested in and grooving on my Mattingly card,
Everyone.
A lot nice. Thank you, man.
Everyone.
All the nerds. A lot of subliminal information is encrypted in the boots and in the camouflage / pinstripe pants, and a little bit on his shirt as well. But his stats, I don't want to spoil it for you all if you're on a scavenger hunt, because that's a lot of what my work is about. But study the boots, my friends.
Okay. I like it. That actually reminded me of a question someone asked earlier on Twitter, saying that you have so many cool Easter eggs in your work. Is there a favorite Easter egg in the Topps 2020 project so far? Do you have a favorite?
I like that question. My favorites are the ones that I got away with, because if I had absolute freedom, my cards would be even more wildly riddled with Easter eggs and all kinds of riffing. But I'm grateful that I've been able to do what I've done thus far. I think my favorite was the transmogrification. It's a word I learned in art school that I really love. And It's when you have a really nice balanced ratio and blend of two different things. And you synthesize them. They meld together, and there's enough of each to where you see both, but it's a whole new conglomeration, right? It's a whole new thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved the Roberto Clemente pirate mascot graphic that sort of transmutated into.
Was that one Boba Fett?
If Darth Vader was on Def Jam in 1982.
Nice.
Because it's a nod to the Dookie Chain and Run DMC and LL Cool J and early hip hop style with Star Wars. And that's one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I
one
love
of
it.
my favorites.
We had another good question. So F. Dot is on the stream, and he had a question for both of us saying, what is the biggest lesson you've learned this year so far from Project 2020? I think that's a great question. I don't know.
It's a great question. I want to say what up to F. Dot. I think he makes really dope work.
Yes.
We've had a great
What's
vibe.
up?
We got to meet through this project. What up, brother? Also, Blake, before I answer this question, is that an F. Dot hat? Because it looks like his EF a little bit.
This is a Blake Jameson hat, but it does kind of look like F. Dots, and I have F. Dot hats in the other studio.
Do you?
I do, and I'm also happen to be rocking my own T-shirt, but I also have to give a shout out to F. Dot's T-shirts are like the most comfortable. He's got the pocket T which says Optimist. This was kind of like inspired by that, to be honest. This is like a prototype that we're working on. But
I want to get a closer look at that. You are well branded of one's own.
Yes,
You're
so
rocking. You're repping your own brand so hard. I love it.
Yeah, the sleeves are like this abstract painting called Blue Monday I did, which I just think it's so cool. Like what they can do now.
Nice New Order song title, my friend.
Yeah, totally.
I love New Order. That's dope. Cool.
Yes. Anyways, so I do rep.
A couple of the top 2020 artists are fashionable as well.
Yeah, well, I'm only fashionable. It's funny because it's like a joke among my team, but like I feel like sometimes I only change shirts because I have to stream it every night. And like, right. Yeah, like literally today I was like, streaming tonight, better put on a new shirt. Which is funny.
That's good. Gotta have
I have like a whole I have a whole wardrobe here. Also, people just keep sending me awesome stuff like shirts. So I have a plethora of studio shirts.
Lifestyle, man. We just kind of like need a storage spot for all the swag we receive because everyone we know is making really cool shit, and you really wanna rock and represent. Just a quick shout out to F. Dot. The way he signs, the way you sign, if you're tuning in, I love your EF, man. Your EF Hutton, your F. Dot Fitzgerald is what I like to call you. And yeah, really dope stuff, man. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
Great vibes.
What is your lesson? I gotta.
The question is, what is the most
biggest
lesson we've learned?
Yeah, what's the biggest lesson you learned from Project 2020? I'm trying to think.
You go first.
You can't please everyone.
Great.
I think it's like the biggest thing. I think that I've never had a platform so big to share my art, and I always love feedback from people, and good and bad. I appreciate when somebody doesn't like my work. I'd much rather than tell me that than say, feed me whatever. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think that like there was a little bit at the beginning where as the audience was getting bigger and everyone had ideas and everyone had, feedback, that was the biggest thing I learned is that I can't please everyone. And I try, I inherently, like by nature, I'm like, try to be a people pleaser and try to say yes to everything and try to say yes to everyone. And just accepting that I can't please everyone has been the biggest lesson.
I think that's a fantastic, a fantastic answer, man.
Thank you.
And quite a way to articulate the lesson that you learned the most through this project. I would concur and totally agree, but I'm going to give my own answer because I think I've learned so much on so many levels through this project with such it's a whole new level of engagement. It's a whole new demographic. It's a new audience. It's a really specific, incredibly meticulous, really critical one in a lot of ways, which I think is very testing and really healthy in some ways. I think it's really important to know that you can't please everyone, and yet there's something for everybody, and each to their own. There's 20 artists. There's a whole range of aesthetics and approaches for you to really groove on and to collect or get into or get introduced to new stuff that maybe you weren't aware of. I know I'm really grateful for anybody that discovered my work through this platform.
Matt, will you grab me one more of these?
I think the most important lesson I've learned is to not take the criticism so personally. That's not an easy thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it's, for me, I'm trying to engage as large of an audience as possible, but I know you certainly can't please anyone, right? So that's the lesson.
Mm-hmm.
How you mitigate your response to people that are really mean and critical and unabashedly verbally cruel or dismissive, or they just don't get it. There's always going to be those people out there. Like the kids coined the phrase haters many, many years ago. And
that's good.
You can't let those people really affect you, man, because like my father says, I think it's a really good adage to adhere to in this context and in so many others. I'm trying to teach my kids to this. My daughter totally gets it. My son doesn't quite yet, but those that matter will never mind. And those that mind
never matter.
Really matter.
Yeah.
But for me, the biggest lesson has been not to really take what very critical people that simply don't dig or get your work to heart, because it takes energy away from all that you're doing that thankfully the majority of the people are really, really valuing and really appreciating and really, expressing their gratitude for how much thought and love and energy I'm really putting into this project and these cards, because that's just my nature. I'm really ethical that way, and I'm trying to just melt eyeballs and give people really deep experiential journeys with the work. It's just kind of what I like to do. And ultimately I'll say, to wrap this up, because I know I like to talk.
We like to listen.
Well, hey, man, I love listening to y'all, and I love that FDOT asked this very thoughtful and sensitive question. I've really learned to respect and adhere to the parameters set forth with a much larger entity that is providing this platform for us. I've had, I want to say, a rocky road. It hasn't really been stormy, but I've had some imperial entanglements, if you will, with who's basically approving of each and every piece that we do. And I've been really blessed and really lucky, and I've flown under the radar for the most part. And I think Topps has been really wonderful. Mm-hmm. And ultimately, I'll say you have to really respect and know who you're working with, and really treat those parameters and those constraints like opportunities to go even deeper and to dig, even further into your arsenal of conceptual and technical, artillery or whatever you want to say. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, those two things for me.
I like it.
Don't take what critical people are saying too personally, and respect and know who we're working for and within for this project.
Yeah, I think that's good. I think on the hater side, it's something that I'm constantly working on myself, is trying to just kind of be an observer and not let the hate change me.
Right.
But also, and I think maybe sometimes the harder part is not let the praise change me.
Yes.
So because we get both sides,
like centered and even throughout. Yeah.
right. I think that, like, I mean, of course, like, you know, I would love if everyone had amazing things to say about my work, but it's not going to change the art that I'm going to go make next, or at least I try to keep it that way.
Right. That's a great philosophy, man. You're doing a really good job at that. Yeah, I mean, you just have to be steadfast and do what you're going to do, and you know, you're the flowing stream, and that's just sort of the action and the ripple on the surface of the water, and it's always going to be there. Also, I think what's really interesting about this level of engagement with all the platforms is you learn a little bit or just enough about each person with what they choose to say to you, right? Mm-hmm. And you can spend all day reading comments. You can chime in here and there. You can totally ignore it all. But it's really going to be there, man. As a 50-year-old, I'm learning that the internet has these really, really dark corners, and people have way too much idle time right now. And there's people that just like to stir shit up. And totally. Yeah, I think it's a really interesting exercise to sort of, you know, to find a good rhythm where you're taking it in, because we're human, and it's really nice to have feedback. Yeah, man, don't let the haters get you down.
Absolutely. I think it's great. All right, let's see what else we got. Yep, a lot of haters gonna hate kind of I like this. JK5 is the Obi-Wan. It's nice, Kurt.
Thank you, Kurt.
Man, I don't see any other questions recently. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever else you want, man.
I'm getting a little tired. We can go a few more minutes. I think it's been really fucking amazing.
No, I think it's been great, man. I think let's let people, like, I don't know, we'll do one more question. We'll just
one more question sounds good.
Everyone can throw out if they have a certain question. Or Matt, I know you had a bunch, or I don't know if you still have any off top, or if you want to save them for the pod, which is fair.
My question is, when can you come into the pod?
Matt, we're not ending with that question. But Matt's question was going to be, when can you come in and do a podcast? When he comes and paints, we'll do a podcast too. Does that sound okay?
What's that?
When Matt's question is, when can you come and do a podcast? And I told him whenever he comes and paints, I'll try.
Let's set it up, man.
Okay, yeah, we'll set that up. Okay, Scotty Arms. For JK5, will there be a Mattingly companion card? So I know that we kind of talked about it earlier, but for anyone else that hasn't seen that, let's tease that a little bit, and then we'll cut them off.
Okay. I say we because I have a small army. No, I have a wonderful little team that's helping me with all the moving parts behind the scenes, so I can just focus on making the work. I am aspiring to a companion card for every card.
I love it.
I don't know exactly what that order is going to be, but the goal is 20 cards, 20 companion cards. So Thank you for your question, and thank you so much for your love and support, everybody. It's been such a marathon, such an amazing project during the weirdest time of our life.
It will be remembered.
Yeah, man. Indeed.
Absolutely. Well, Joseph, thank you so much for sharing the evening with us.
Blake, thank you so much, man.
Always amazing,
come back
man.
And chat with you.
I know, man. I can't wait till we can fist pound in person. Work side by side, all that stuff. I love that, man. We'll do the love, and then we'll do this one. Actually, I have this one.
Love and Basquiat. Nice.
Love over money. I like that.
Fresh. Look at that.
Yeah.
Cool. That's dope.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Anyways, thank you so much. I know everyone loved it. Been one of my favorite chats. They always are. So
send me the link, because I always enjoy playing
Absolutely.
it back when I have some peace and I can just focus on really what went down, you know?
Yes. I love
Blake,
it.
thank you so much. Matt is your
Yeah. He's still, yeah.
Joseph, thank you so much.
Matt, thank you so much, man.
Of course.
Thanks for contributing and being a part of it.
Likewise. Thank you for
Creating
joining.
this triangular dynamic here between us.
The
As am
trifecta.
I. As am I.
Yeah.
I sauce Olis.
Yes.
Exactly.
Like that.
Let's go.
All right. Thank you. All right, everyone. I hope you stay safe. Thank you so much for spending your night with us. Your time's precious. We appreciate that you spent it with us. So
Much love,
stay safe.
everybody. Take care of yourself and your beloveds. And thank
Stay
you
off.
again. I'm
Yeah,
going to continue to bring the.
I love it. Yes. Stay awesome, everyone. Have a great night.
Peace, everybody. Later.